What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zoo November, a Ham Radio adventure guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything adventure radio. It is Sunday. That means it's time for some shenanigans, some great music, some happy birthday Terrys, and a whole lot of fun. We're going to start this episode just like we always do with a shout out. Well, that didn't work well.
Uh-oh.
With a shout out to the Patreons. You guys are absolutely awesome people. And you know what? With the Hamfest season over and all of the yearly meetups over, I'm already looking forward to next year so I can spend a whole lot more time with you. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to see some more of you this year, but nothing scheduled that's specifically Patreon related, other than the Christmas party, of course. And then we thank the YouTube members because they are equally as important. They're absolutely awesome people as well. They are green in the chat or blue if they are a moderator. And the ever-changing board that has lost its way. It don't have no changes for 2 episodes straight. So this board is sad, Dan. Very, very sad board. What's going on, buddy?
Not a lot. Sunday. That's what's going on. Episode 136 of Shenanigans on this fine, hot Sunday. Georgia Parks and Propagation. That's our buddy Ron Chris, Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar. He was first in the chat. Whiskey 1 Whiskey Charlie followed up a close second. Our buddy Ronnie, Kilo Oscar 4 Zulu. Romeo X-Ray was third. Daryl was here. Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra X-Ray Hotel. Good to see you, buddy. Kent Kilo 9 Alpha Echo Echo. KO4 FSZ Antennas is officially and formally requesting that we have Hayden on as a surprise guest. I think that would be really cool. We haven't talked to Hayden in quite a while, so yeah, I am with you there, buddy. Josh, Kilo 4, Lemur, India, the pot stirrer. Rules are rules. Who needs them, buddy? Good to see you. Andy Callie, what's going on? My friend Mike 88KB is at Bucky's. Gonna get some brisket. I don't blame you one bit. Jumbo Marshmallow in the house. Whiskey Delta 4 Juliet. Mike. What's up, Zach? K4 Zulu Sierra Romeo. Bob is here. Kilo Oscar 4 Zulu India Kilo. Man, there's a lot of Zulus showing up around here. We love it. Dennis 89 Whiskey Mike. What's up? Scott into TKT. Good evening to you, buddy. Kilo Oscar 4 November Lova. The barbecue pitmaster himself is in the house. Terry's here. Kilo 8.
Golf Quebec.
Golf Quebec is here. He said he melted his Wolf River coil a bit this evening. Well, maybe you can get another one for your birthday, buddy. And by the way, happy birthday. John, Kilo 8 November, India Victor rounds out the list so far. I'm sure some other people will trickle in here as the hour progresses. But man, it's been hot in Hades down here.
Yeah, it's back. You know, we had maybe 1-2 days of nice 70-some degree weather, and then that 70-degree weather said, "I think I'm done with this."
Didn't last long.
Here come the heat back again. So it's been a little. You know, I'm back to multiple shirt activations and stuff. I don't care for that.
Supposedly, it's supposed to be, let me take a look at our weather forecast for next week. It's supposed to be cooling down a little bit. Like Friday and Saturday, the high is 87 and 85. So that's a welcome change, you know. Hey, we'll wait for it. The middle of next week's still going to be hot.
Yeah, the heat. Here's the thing, though. The heat's running late in the year, but that means when it's gone, it ain't going to be no fall this year. It's probably going to go straight into 45 inches of snow and
yeah.
You know, 10 below zero. That's about how it works for me, I think. But
45 inches of snow and the leaves will still be on the trees, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's right. Chris wants to know if anybody else is going to the Shelby Ham Fest this week. And if you're going to the Shelby Ham Fest, let us know in the chat. I've never been. I've heard it's pretty cool. I might go to Stone Mountain next year, whenever the next Stone Mountain is.
You know, I would like to go to Shelby, but I don't know that that's going to happen. You never know, though. Yeah, I won't rule it out. I won't really.
If I go to Stone Mountain Ham Fest, I can do another soda. How about that?
Stone Mountain. That's the one that charges you like $20 just to get in, ain't it?
Something crazy. It's kind of like if you go on the wrong way to Harper's Ferry, like I did, they charge you $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that they should charge to get into any park.
Our taxes kind of support it.
I don't even, they really shouldn't even charge to get into an amusement park because people's going to eat in there and they make like 4,500% profit on their food.
Oh, and people are going to play them carny games too that are going to get you for all your money.
Absolutely.
But you can't win at, by the way.
Speaking
of carny games, go ahead.
You should have to buy your ride pass. But if you're just going in, say you're taking some kids or something and you're just going in and you're not riding something, I don't think you should have to pay, $40 to walk in the door.
Speaking of those games, the carny games, I watched a documentary on Netflix, I believe it was, about that whole situation and how they con you out of your money and all this stuff. It was really interesting. It was kind of like life behind a carny, the behind the curtains of a carnival kind of. Oh, it was really cool. And come to find out, one of the questions was asked, which was always on my mind. The amusement parks that are always there, like Disney, we got one here in Valdosta, Wild Adventures, things like that. The question was, are the mobile carnivals that come to your town in trucks and they set up for a week or so and then move on, are those rides safe to get on? Which is, I've always wondered that too, because they move them so dang much. And the carnival guy, well, the retired carnival guy who is now divulging all this inside information, actually said they're actually probably safer because they have to get inspected and everything every single time they set them up by the city or the government, whoever allows them to be there. They're inspected officially every single time they set them up. Whereas amusement parks are like once a year. I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they don't look too safe when you got a 200-foot wheel spinning on top of a flatbed truck. But
the people that run them don't look too safe either.
That's very true. That's very true.
It's funny. Speaking of games like that, I can remember when I was in 7th grade, a bunch of kids from my school, we went to Kings Island, and I remember I rode in a station wagon with like 5 or 6 other kids and a set of parents. And Terry's giving tickets to the ride. Thank you for the super chat, Terry. He's probably just paying for the contacts that I actually hunted Terry a little bit ago.
Oh wow!
So, he's paying for the contacts. But there was a bunch of us in that car, and there were all the kids went over to this game, and you had these rings, and they probably wasn't this big, and you had to throw them. They had all these bottles.
Yeah, Coke bottles. Yeah.
And everybody's hitting them and they're bouncing everywhere. And I don't know. I bought a round and it gave me 5 rings. And I put the 5 rings in my hand and I just went. And I'll be daggone if one didn't land right dead on that bottle. And I won this bear that was like, that we had to strap it to the top of the car because it was absolutely enormous.
That is great.
They're like, what? They're like, what in the world, dude? And I'm like, I wasn't trying.
It was interesting. I forget the name of it. I wish I knew so I could plug it here on the stream. But search Netflix for carnivals or something like that. It actually goes into their little carny secret language that they got, and they change it every so often once people figure out the words they're saying and stuff. It's really good.
Lots of things have secret languages.
Like manganese, almost.
Yeah, like manganese. Guy comes up to me at the Ham Fest and was introducing. No, it was at the YouTuber meetup, and he was introducing me to his friend. He said he's bilingual, and I immediately think he's talking about I speak manganese. I was like, "Are you talking about manganese?" He's like, "No, you do CW doing your sideband activations." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I wasn't sure that was bilingual, but yeah, I do that.
When I called you yesterday with the club call sign, and I for some reason could not, my fingers were not translating to the key correctly. That was Minganese, by the way.
Dan actually, on my last activation video, Dan actually came through Minganese, and I actually put his call sign at the top of the screen in Minganese, like everybody, like everything else.
That's right.
If you ever want to know how to say Dan's call sign in Minganese, it's on that video. But
that is true.
But yeah, but no, you know who else has their own secret language? The POTA Facebook page. they speak the secret language of lead.
Yeah,
you know, it's getting worse and worse and worse over there. I mean, it just, first off, Dan posted a video and called some people the POTA elite.
I did.
Now, first off, none of the people in that video even called themselves the POTA elite. But I've seen so many posts about this POTA elite, POTA elite, POTA elite. And you know what? I seen a post and it said, "How do you become a POTA elite?" Well, rule number 1 is you get off the POTA Facebook page and get out in the park and activate, and stop worrying about stupid things. Stop worrying about how other people have fun. You're never going to be elite at anything until you stop worrying about everybody else and worry about yourself. Mind your business. Didn't your mama raise you right?
Rule number 1 about becoming a POTA elite is you don't talk about the POTA elite.
Yeah. It's just absolutely ridiculous that everybody's worried about how somebody else does POTA. Like, I should start a whole series and just pick a new operator every day. I could make millions of videos. Today's day is Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha November. This is what he does wrong when he does POTA. No, he don't do nothing wrong because it's how he does POTA. Leave him alone. Leave everybody alone.
Yeah, I think it was. You're right. And I think it was. I mean, I go ahead and own up to it. It was 100% me because I'm the one who titled the video and made the thumbnail. The word elite was not mentioned in the video at all, by the way. That was all me. I mean, shoot me, But when somebody first complained about it, I was like, who the heck is this and why are you getting mad about this? Then I thought about it for a little bit. And I'll give it to you. It was a silly thing to complain about, don't get me wrong, but I can understand the connotation of the word. Even though synonyms of the word are like best, top, cream of the crop, POTA just decides to use the word top instead of the best or the elite. So POTA has top activators, top hunters, not elite activators, not elite hunters, not the best. It's all a synonym, and I can understand the connotation behind the word elite. So I changed it. All I did was change the title and change the thumbnail because the word was not anywhere in the video. So if I did that and you're still not happy, sorry, I'm not pulling the video. I'm gonna say it's a really good interview.
It doesn't matter. It's now they're trying to tell you. First, they're trying to tell you how to POTA. Now they're trying to tell you how you run your YouTube channel. I mean,
no, actually, it wasn't directed towards me.
If you wanted to say the 4 zebras of POTA, it's your video.
Right. And the funny part about it is none of it was directed towards me. It was really directed towards whoever posted the video in POTA. So nobody said, Dan, you need to not call people elite. So I'll go ahead and throw that out there. So nobody ever asked me to change it. So I took it upon myself just to smooth over a little bit of the lids. So hopefully it worked. If it didn't, sorry to hurt your feelings. But,
Well, you know what?
Here's what it is.
There wasn't a person on that video that has under 1,000 unique parts.
Everybody on that video was a top activator.
If you don't have over 1,000 unique parks, don't worry about what other people's calling them. Worry about getting your own numbers up and stop being in everybody else's business. You might have a lot better numbers if you'd stay off the POTA Facebook page and stay in the park. See, it's ridiculous.
And it's not just POTA. So we say the POTA Facebook page because that's our primary focus on Ham Radio. I'm also a member of other ham radio groups on POTA. I mean, on POTA, on Facebook that really don't have much to do with POTA, if at all. And there's still idiots on there too.
Oh,
so it's not POTA specific. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw that out there. We're not like dogging POTA. It's the lids that are on Facebook that are causing an issue for people.
It's everything on Facebook.
Yeah.
If I post a picture of my grandson running a touchdown, somebody's going to say, well, his left cleat was untied. That was unsafe.
And there was something else on there too posted. I mean, I know who posted it. I'm not going to sit there and publicly say it, but saying that POTA should be a place to have fun, not make up. Now, this is like total. What's the word when you don't say it exactly like somebody else does? Paraphrasing. So I'm paraphrasing this guy. He said, we should just go out, have fun, POTA, and not come up with silly little nicknames for each other. Which I totally disagree with, because that's part of the fun. I mean, you got POTA King, you got POTA Royalty, you got POTA Daddy, you got POTA Yoda, you got POTA Pops. You got nicknames for everybody, and it's all part of the fun of having POTA. It's part of the fun of calling somebody N4 turd on the radio. It's
Absolutely.
Not condescending. It's a nickname out of love and appreciation we give to people.
Absolutely. North Carolina Old Man Overflow, he's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
And he will actually come into my pile up and he'll go turd, turd, turd.
Yeah, there's a turd in the pile up.
He don't think we're crucifying him.
No.
It's part of the fun, and people are just Grandpa Terry.
Yeah, fart sniffing zebras.
Who cares?
Exactly. It's all part of the fun. Don't get your panties in a bunch, guys. We're having fun.
It's funny because a lot of these people are not millennials. They're older people, but they sure do act like they're millennials.
It's because we're not having fun the way they say we should have fun.
They get their feelings hurt really bad. You know what?
That's right.
And I'm sorry, but I identify as a person that don't care that your feelings are hurt.
That said, about Facebook in general, this was not directed at POTA. This was directed at Facebook.
No, it's not directed at POTA at all.
I'm going to drop a link in our Discord right now. Anybody is more than welcome to join there. And if anybody says anything out of the way or crappy or liddish to you, I will kick their butt right out. Don't worry about it. We are friendly.
That's right. You can ask any POTA question you want there, or any radio question. There's a room for about everything there.
Yeah.
Just if you're not sure what the topic is, you might want to avoid that room. But there's a room for about everything over there.
Terry's mind meld in there. Just be cautious. Ain't no telling what you'll find in Terry's room. So, there you go.
So you know what? In good news, and I should have started with this. If there's any new people watching the channel that happen to be satellite hunters, Sunday Shenanigans is where me and Dan have random topics, random rants, random everything. Our Wednesday stream is radio related, because we could be having some new people in here that are satellite hunters and don't even do POTA, because I did start a new series on Saturday. And it's called Soda Saturdays. It's soda. It's called Satellite Saturdays. I've been thinking about soda. Can you tell? The Satellite Saturdays, and it's to help pull some satellite hunters over to the channel and satellite activators, because I'm really getting into that, and I want to give them some videos and stuff from a beginner satellite activator hunter, whatever you call it, point of view, because I'm definitely not a pro at that. There's a lot of better people than me, but it's really cool. So every Saturday for at least a couple of months, I'm not going to say it's going to be forever satellite Saturdays for me, but at least a couple of months, every Saturday, I'm going to drop some kind of footage either on YouTube or TikTok and for satellite Saturdays. So
there you go. Speaking of silly names, Fart Sniffing Zebra just posted that our buddy Patrick, KY4AX, is on 7229. If you're near a radio, go hunt him. Let's see who was joined since we started foaming at the mouth here about Facebook. Dom, what's going on, buddy? We see you in there, NC4XL. That's North Carolina for extreme lovers. But he's not. He's just plain old Dom. Go check him out here on YouTube. He puts up some really interesting content for the new POTA person and also the seasoned POTA person. It's a mix of everything. I love it. Eric's here. That's 9 Victor 1 Echo Oscar. Good to see you, my friend, over in 9 Victor Land. We were just talking about turds in here in 4 TRD. And anybody else join that I missed?
Yep.
KB5UTY, what's up, buddy? Tall guy, K3STL, man. Good to see you. It's been a while. And still scrolling. Alan, Alpha Charlie 4 High. Hi. Dad is here. That's right. Kilo Delta 9, Uniform Victor Kilo. And KE4 EST and Kilo 4. Gotta find my button. Alpha. Good to have y'all in here.
So speaking of Dad, he took a page out of Steven's book and cross-promoted me a little bit ago when I was into the park. May have been because the signal wasn't good enough on sideband, but he did cross-promote me. That was pretty cool. Eric says satellite every day, and you know what? If I had time for satellites every day, I probably would. But it's kind of.
Have you, speaking of satellite every day, have you done a complete 10 QSO activation of a park just on satellite?
No.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
It is coming. It's definitely coming. My problem right now is I'm still on the.
Alan says he went to the Kentucky State Fair today and overheard the carnies making fun of the ham lids. Oh, that's great. Oh my goodness.
It is what it is.
Eric says he's done it when Green Cube was still around. I imagine those passes lasted longer. I'm satellite stupid, so you're gonna have to help me out here. Did Green Cube passes last longer, or were there more of them more frequently, or what?
Yeah, Green Cube, you could get tons of contacts on that. That was before my time, but I've seen videos on it.
Yeah, it's something that I'm considering getting into. I haven't taken the leap yet. I don't even have an antenna, or I got a couple HTs if I wanted to.
You know how you do that, don't you? When you're in Huntsville, you buy an antenna.
Yeah.
Then the next year you buy.
Yeah. Oh, 70-minute passes. Oh, that's awesome, dude. In medium earth orbit.
So,
okay.
And for West Virginia, that's probably still a 10-minute pass.
Yeah, with the mountains.
Time you get to clear the mountains.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of excited to go to Florida this year, so I don't have the mountains and can actually do, like a full 14-minute pass or something. It'd be pretty great.
If it's not busy either, I mean, you don't want to hog the whole pass, but in 14 minutes, I mean, dude, you can get 50 contacts, right?
Well, you know,
I don't
hog the pass. I'm pretty good about that. There are people that do hog the pass, I've noticed. But I typically have about a 6-minute window, maybe 8 on a 14-minute pass. It just depends. And not every time, but I can get 3 calls in that 6 minutes.
Maybe POTA should put up their own constellation. POTA only satellites. How about that? That'd be pretty cool.
Can you do it from McDonald's?
It won't happen, but No, we're going to employ beamforming technology where it does not cover McDonald's at all, actually. Only parks.
No. Maybe our buddy Elon can make us a satellite that will only let you get signal over parks and
wildlife. WMAs.
That wouldn't work for the hunters.
Yeah, that's true, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're right. It was a good idea, though.
All right, let's scratch that one.
It was
kind of good, though.
Good idea.
Eric said that would be terrible.
Yeah. You imagine all the lids on the satellite. All right, so they told us back when we started CW, Eric and James can probably answer this too. Y'all told me, not y'all in the chat, y'all in general, y'all watching. Y'all said there's no lids on CW. The survey says you were wrong.
Yeah.
How about on satellites? Do you run into any lids on satellites? Not the guy who hogs the whole pass, because that's kind of lidish, but other behaviors. Are there anybody witnessed anything?
I haven't really witnessed lids.
Yeah,
there are people that will, which in my opinion are lids, but they try to talk over everybody and not wait their turn and stuff like that. But that's right, Zach. Lots of lids on CW.
If you are a CW operator and you do not think there are lids on CW, just listen to his pilot. That's all you need to do. It'll prove you're wrong real quick.
So see, Eric's more qualified to say it. He says there's tons of lids on current birds.
Yeah,
and I agree. There's times when, like, I'm trying to make a contact and you get the same guy that keeps over and over and over trying to work every single buddy and not let nobody else work.
I wonder if that goes back to the first rule of everything. Listen, So when I finally get into satellites, which I think I will, don't get me wrong. When I finally get into it, I think I'm going to listen to probably 50 passes before I ever decide to transmit. I'm just going to learn the flow of things,
It's really not as hard as people make it out to be. I've watched, and I'm not going to say no names or nothing, but I've watched people do YouTube videos and, I know one person in particular that tried for a couple of years to make a satellite contact, never made one. And it made me feel like this was going to be way harder than what it was. But when you do your research, just like with POTA, if you do your research on things, it's really easy to be better at something when you start it than just going up there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna get a satellite. I'm gonna take my little bow thing out here with this little rubber ducky antenna, and I'm gonna get 17 contacts when this pass." No, it's not going to happen like that. But if you do your research and learn things, you get ahead of the game. And it took me a few passes to figure it out, but I'm going to say on fourth or fifth pass at the most, I was making contacts. And
that's how I got started in POTA, just listening to how other hunters, hunted activators. I probably listened more when I first got into POTA. I mean, I listened to see the flow of things because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't have an Elmer to teach me this,
Don said he thought I was doing a new form of exercising, choosing the antenna in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really not that hard. Now, I'm not real familiar with my satellite radio settings, and I did bump something one day somehow, and then I went like 3 passes and I didn't make no contacts. I knew something was wrong, and I could not figure it out. I could hear fine, but I wasn't getting in. I wasn't hearing myself come back at all, and I got aggravated, and I just started pushing buttons, and evidently you push enough buttons and it fixes things. So then I got right back to getting in every time. So
you should try that with your DX10.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. What happened is somebody was pushing buttons.
I tried to fix it in Huntsville. I mean, I even recorded another message and did everything else. You hit the thing, it goes to transmit, you can watch the waterfall. It's transmitting a carrier, but no, not that audio. It is so weird.
So here's the thing: you're not going to learn a lot watching my satellite videos because I'm a rookie.
Yeah.
But you will, if you've never done it, you will learn stuff. Like, for example, you'll learn that despite most people do it standing up, if you got a bad back like myself, I sit down. I got a chair sitting out there and I'll sit down. Even when I've got my pack on my chest and stuff, I know you've seen videos of me doing it. Even when my pack is on my chest and stuff and I don't have the table or nothing out there, it's just me and my gear, I sit down. Yeah. Not because I can't do it standing up. And there will be videos with me doing it standing up in parks and stuff like that. But if I don't got to stand up, why? That's right. Anyone can hold an antenna for 10 minutes, but there's no need. He says there's no need for tripods or portable rotators. But if you don't want to hold an antenna for 10 minutes, use a tripod. Sometimes I'll bring my tripod out and I'll start on the tripod, but I can guarantee you mid-pass, I'm going to get up and start turning it and stuff because I get better reception. I do have a rotor. I haven't used it yet. I think it's going to be easier to track the satellite, but I'm going to lose a lot because I can't turn the antenna side to side like this. There's going to be so. It's
it's along the lines of learning the basics first, like Eric said. So you don't want to start off with an automatic rotor and stuff like that. You want to learn tracking manually, like you said, and learn the basics of the niche that you're going into. So it's kind of like if you give a brand new ham a big old tower and a bunch of Yagis and a rotor controller, you know, he's got to learn. If you're in South Georgia and you want to hit Europe, you don't point it east because you're going to hit like South Africa.
You got to learn. You got to learn all of it. You know, you're going to want to learn to do it standing up, even though if you want to do it sitting down, you got to learn to do it without a rotor, without a tripod, because here's the thing. You may be out one day and you realize you're in a rare grid square. Oh no, I don't have my tripod. I don't have my rotor, but I do have my antenna and my radio. Get out and do it. I mean,
yeah.
I used a crutch because my back hurts, but I used a chair as a crutch because my back hurts. But I've done plenty of them standing up as well.
It shouldn't hurt that bad being in West Virginia. I mean, your passes ain't but like 35 seconds, right?
Yeah, but okay. So here's the thing about me. So I'm that weird person. So if I'm supposed to be at work at 8:30, I have to be there by about 7:45.
That's me.
If not, I'm sick at my stomach. My whole day's ruined. Everything's going down the hill. If I'm going to, the world's worst is trains and planes doing
automobiles
doing transfers. Like I have to be at the gate like way before they would be taking anybody because I'm in panic mode. And it's the same way with me with satellites. Like it's not like POTA where I'm like, oh, it's 3 minutes still. I can do an early shift. With satellites, I want to be out there set up and burning up and in the heat, way before I should have to. And it's not like that for, people like Eric. He probably is like, oh, 45 seconds, going to be a satellite pass. Let me walk out here and get this.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
But I'm still in that stage where I got to be out there early setting up like that.
Eric had a unique, kind of a unique opportunity too, I believe. And I guess Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the birds that flew over, you had a lot of time, unless there were other people really on the islands in Hawaii that were there as well. You had you at least had some time with the birds, maybe kind of by yourself. So you could actually experiment a little bit, how you can hear yourself on the downlink and polarization of your antennas and stuff like that. I would think anyway. I've never been to Hawaii, so I don't know. There's probably some passes that just nobody's in range of the satellite except maybe him and one other person.
It's I don't know about Hawaii, but I mean the range is a lot bigger than you would think it would be.
Yeah.
I mean my first contact was Florida. My first ever satellite contact was Florida. That's a good little range for me.
Yeah. But if you take the distance between West Virginia and Florida, and then you take that same distance and draw it around, Hawaii, you still in water.
Hey, only he can answer that.
Yeah, actually, he said most of the low Earth orbit birds were empty because nobody else in the footprint. Yeah. So that brings a unique opportunity too, where you can experiment, with antennas. You don't have to worry about, pissing anybody else off that's on the bird because nobody's there, to see what kind of wattage works. What you got to do to hear yourself on the downlink. If you don't, that's a pretty cool opportunity.
It doesn't take very much wattage to get into them at all. I can guarantee you that.
Beetlejuice, the PP man, is here. Mike Robush, how you doing? But
normally we're talking about him when he pops in. That's why he said that. But ain't nobody talking about you. We didn't hear you today, so we wasn't talking about you.
And we did not say his name 3 times either. So.
Yeah, you know what? We can talk about him now. He was on a rant yesterday.
Oh, did he call you too about that?
Did he call you?
Well, let's see if it's about the same thing. Does it have to do with?
I guarantee
it's the same. To do with things that start with power and end with poles.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
PP Man has determined that power poles are absolute garbage.
Which I kind of agree.
He's changing all his connectors to something else. I don't even remember what it's called right at the top of my head. He sent me links though.
XT60. Yep.
Chris flexing that 17 months of a YouTube member. That's right. Hit that like button, and even better, start that membership. That way you can flex in 17 months like that.
But yeah, I was looking at those XT60 connectors, and I like them. Because the thing I don't mind power poles a form factor. Don't get me wrong. I got them everywhere. But yeah, search the Google, Terry, for XT60, X-Ray Tango 60 for connectors. But
this is my problem with it though. I don't want to change mine because of the simple thing that right now I can go and I can set up on about anybody's battery that I want to because everybody has power poles.
Yeah.
Just because a couple people are saying that they'd like to go to XT60s doesn't mean everybody's going to change to it, and then you're limited to only your own setups.
Make little pigtails, I guess, so you can adapt to different things. But the only thing that really aggravates me about power poles is so I don't do them day in and day out. I'm not like a power pole factory. Okay. So it's when I put a power pole on something, it's maybe once every 2 months, because I got pretty much everything done. But every time I put a power pole something, I have to hold up the red and black, and I have to look at something else that has power poles on it to figure out what side the red goes on before I slide them together. That's aggravating to me. Where the XT60s, you ain't got to worry about it.
When I do it, I'll just take my set and I'll plug them in to a battery with no wires hooked to them. I was like, all right, this is how they go, and I just put them together.
Oh, PP says you can't even get power poles in Europe. Okay, so I need to switch to XT60s before my POTA activation in Copenhagen. Okay, I got you. I get you. We'll get it done, buddy.
Rob, Kilo Bravo 6, Juliet Foxtrot Lima says, satellites, I'm here. Hey, welcome, man. That's what I'm wanting to see. I'm wanting to see some more satellites people come over so we can have some more satellite discussion over here on the channel. And
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
And I've got you in here, and there's Eric in here. If you guys know somebody that is like just the absolute man on satellites that you would like to see come on the stream, shoot me a message and tell me, and I'll reach out to them and see if they'll come on the stream and talk a little bit with us.
Mm-hmm. Eric says he used the XT60s in drone racing. I remember them from the RC car racing. They hook the batteries to RC cars. That's where I remember them from. So yeah.
So, hey, you know, if you guys want to switch. I don't care, but just remember you are going to limit yourself. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean the XTs aren't better. It means I don't want to limit myself to going out and you know, I have my setup set up for that, and then I go out and for some reason my battery fails, and Dan's right there, and his has power poles, and yeah, you can make a little pigtail.
Yeah, make a little pig. That's what I was thinking too. I might put 1 or 2 XT60s on my battery box. I'm not going to get rid of all my power poles on my battery box. It'll still be like a double gang power pole just in case James's battery dies and he needs to plug in real quick to another battery. Boom, he's there. But yeah, I might experiment with them. You know, I'm not in any rush to do it. Just if it happens, it happens.
XT60, it kind of looks like a little barrel connector, right?
Hold on, I'll pull up a picture of them here. XT60. Let's go to Amazon. See what we can find here.
Dennis, I don't have a problem with the power poles.
I mean, they're okay, you know. All right, XT60. Present my window. Share screen. Window. Share. Complex world here. Those are the XT60s.
Okay.
So it's keyed. You can only fit them in there one way. I mean, just like power poles, you can't put them in there backwards. But this has me curious, since they are keyed, PP Man. If you wanted to make an extension cable, say if you wanted to go positive to positive, negative to negative, how hard would that be? Just throwing that out there. I don't know. More surface area. Yeah.
So, you know, with that being said, one thing that PP Man was doing with his power poles, and I've started doing it with mine, some of my smaller cables, is you can go on the 3D printing site and you can 3D print these things that'll go around your power poles that give you something to grab a hold of, where you don't got to worry about grabbing the wire and it's got more surface space on it. Matter of fact, my Yaesu cable to connect to just the FTX1 is like that because it's a little cable.
That's what I'll do. I'll put XT60 bulkhead or 2 on my battery box with a label on top of it that said elite use only. I just twist my wires together with a little electrical tape. That's all you need, buddy.
Listen, a connection's a connection, Eddie.
I
can tell you right now that, you know, if anybody has ever had Kilo Echo 8 Yankee Victor Delta hunt them, you know, she's got a pretty good signal. And her antenna at her house, I had it down. I had the mast down for it because the winds were really bad. And I happened to be cutting some brush around the antenna. And I just cut that wire right in two. And I trimmed me 2 ends. And I took and I made 2 hooks. And I hooked those 2 bare wires together. And then I twisted them. And Absolutely. I put shrink wrap over top of them and used a heat gun. And that's how it's connected. And it's been that way for probably 6-7 months at least.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I don't even put the heat shrink over. I just let them sit out in the weather, and when I start hearing that crackle on the receive, I'm like, yeah, it's probably resting. About time to change that one. Ham radio operators are lazy, man. I mean, y'all ain't figured that out. I mean, not all of them, but, most of them. It's like, yeah, I'll heat shrink that connection later. Once it starts to smoke and melt the insulation, then I'll worry about it,
Chris, she is still running the Fox Sierra 40-10. Yes, sir. That's the one. That's the one that I cut and did on accident and did that way, Chris.
As we say at my job, most everything temporary ends up being permanent anyway. So just leave it alone.
Yeah. Hey, here's what it is.
Yeah, XT60 takes more heat. Yeah, but I'm not going to be. I mean, I've never had a power pole get hot. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I can't say that I've had a power pole get hot. Hey, I don't care. You guys want to do XT60s? Do XT60s.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play with them just to see how I like them.
I don't feel like changing all my stuff.
No, I just want to get. I'm going to get some just to see how well they lock in and do the tug test so they don't come apart. Stuff like that.
It's one of those things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, I mean, I'll admit, I don't like crimping power poles. I do not like crimping power poles.
This is a valid point. So PP Man says the XT60s can take more heat. Eddie chimed in. How much heat are you producing running 1 watt? I mean, come on. I mean, you're not going to melt the power cable. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. My only gripe with power poles is the boots. I don't even use them 9 times out of 10, dude. I don't even put them on there.
So that's what I'm saying. Instead of the boots, you don't really need those if you get those 3D printed things. Mm-hmm. And I'll try to have some of them handy on Wednesday's stream to show them again. I like them. I actually need to put a set over every one of my power poles because I'm not changing the XT60s, so I might as well do that. But speaking of Wednesday's stream is going to be a really good stream. We're going to have motorcycle roving with Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Delta Victor, and we're going to talk about his 2 trips that were basically back to back. I think he had a week or so in between them, but he went from Indiana all the way out through California. And then the next week he went all the way, or the next week or so, he came back and worked and then went all the way out to Maine. So coast to coast. And it's a lot of riding on a motorcycle and a whole lot of radio he got to do. So
yeah,
going to be a really great stream on Wednesday. I look forward to that for sure.
That's right. Eric says PP should run the XT30. I said no, the XT 0.1s.
All right, PP Man, we've got him going now. Okay, so tell me, why do you need to add stuff to the PP? Should be fine alone. I'm confused.
I don't add anything to my power poles. I crimp them on there, I shove them in, and I plug them in. The only thing, like I said, that aggravates me is figure out what side the red goes on versus the black because I don't do them all the time. But I don't add boots and covers to mine.
You don't have to have boots or covers. Matter of fact, the only one I've got a cover on is my Yaesu. I just like it better because, well, I'll tell you why. Because I suck at crimping, and sometimes I don't have the best crimp. And and sometimes I'll pull the wire out if my thumb's a little too big for the wire. So that's why I started putting them on there.
Always pull your thumb out if it's a bit too big. But Rob asked a question about your elk.
That would be the same with me crimping anything. All right. I love the new handle for the elk antenna. Wish I had a 3D printer. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, Rob. If you will send me an email, we can work something out. I can get you to send me shipping or something, and I'll print one for you. How about that?
There you go. Service with a smile right here on Shenanigans.
That's right. I like to give back to the community that gives to me.
That's right. Yeah.
Speaking of that, Dan, it's coming up on the top of the hour. What you got? What do you got coming up?
I got to go back to work next week. I've been on vacation this week. If you haven't noticed, I've kind of put out a couple videos here and there. But we'll keep up the trend. Got to go back to the grind. And thank you, everybody, for joining us this Sunday on Shenanigans. We've had a lot of fun. And we went everywhere from lids to power poles to XT60s to satellites to... We didn't talk about much barbecue, did we? We stayed away from the food this Sunday, surprisingly. But thanks, everybody, for joining us. James, what you got coming up?
That's right. And, first off, Dan, I'm kind of jealous that you have a boss to let you go on vacation. Mine won't let me go on vacation.
Well, yours is a hard ass.
And you mentioned a lot of videos. Today is the first day in a week in like 3 or 4 days that I haven't dropped like a short, a TikTok and a Facebook reel on top of a video or a stream or something. I took a day of rest, and I'm only doing one stream today. I say that, and you watch, I'll end up dropping something later tonight. But, I'm going to be back at it next week. I'm not going to say it's going to be every day, but at least every other day I want to do that short, that reel, and that Facebook page. If you don't follow the Ham Radio Adventure Guy Facebook page, we're pushing it now because we're trying to get more people from everywhere. And, you new satellite guys, tell your satellite guys, this channel could be just as big on satellites as it can on POTA. We just got to have the people to push it. So other than that, I'm going to go out and do an early late shift like I like to do every Sunday. And I'll be out every day this week and dropping videos. And I will be trying, despite Eric's pleading with me to stay away from the rotor, I will be trying my rotor this week. And that'll probably be Satellite Saturday's video. So we'll see. Other than that, thanks a lot, guys. And we'll catch everybody on the air. 73.
73, guys.